Fine, we'll start with the seventh problem. Now this problem is very similar to your fifth problem. Okay, so please go through your fifth problem and then come back for the seventh problem because it is having the same pattern of your problem number 5. So I will read out the question for you. Slow Limited went into voluntary liquidation on 31/12/2015, at which date preference shares dividend was in arrear for 1 year. So dividend you have to give for 1 year and the issued capital is of these. 1,008% preference shares 100 each, which is fully paid. 10,000 equity shares of 10 each, fully paid. 20,000 equity shares of 10 each, 8 paid. 30,000 equity shares of 10 each, 5 paid. So you have totally 3 classes of equity shares. In that, first class have fully paid 10 rupees. Second class have paid only 8 rupees. Third class have paid only 5 rupees. Assets realized is 1,50,000. Liquidation expenses 1,600. Unsecured creditors 45,000, which is including 5,000 preferential creditors. Liquidators remuneration, it is fixed at 3% commission on the amount of assets realized. So it is 3% on assets realized and 2% on the amount distributed to unsecured creditors. So you know how you have to do this. Preference shareholders have priority over all the equity shareholders with regard to repayment of capital and dividend. Prepare the liquidator's final statement of account, assuming that necessary calls are made and received to settle the rights of the shareholders. So this is similar to your problem number 5. There is no any new adjustments that you have to do here. So I will directly start with problem number 7. Liquidator's final statement of account. Okay, starting from the receipts, amount, payment amount. Okay. So first, under the receipts, how do you start? You have to check whether you have cash in hand, cash at bank. Now in this problem, you don't have information on cash in hand, cash at bank. There is no information even on the surplus of secured creditors. So I directly write assets realized. Okay. So 2 assets realized, information given is 1,50,000. Clear? Now we'll go ahead with the payment side. We start with what? Liquidation expense. So liquidation expenses 1,600. Check if you have any legal charges. There is no legal charges, so I write liquidators remuneration. Okay, so remuneration you have 2. One percentage is at 3 and the other percentage is at 2%. So whenever you're doing remuneration, remember we used to do a working note. Okay, so I'm just writing the working note here for liquidators remuneration. Okay, first one is at 3% on assets realized. Okay, assets realized directly given in the problem is 1,50,000. So 1,50,000, 3% is 4,500. Okay, second one is at 2%. 2% on amount distributed to unsecured creditors. So whenever you have like this, how did we do the problem? So we basically did 2 amount comparison. That is, first one, what we used to write is how much is the available balance in the problem. Okay, this we used to compare with what? Actual amount in the question. Okay, we used to compare these 2 items. How much is the actual amount given in the question for unsecured creditors? Actual amount given is 45,000. Okay, how do you calculate the available balance? Available balance you usually calculate by minusing your receipts and payment. Correct? So your receipts is 1,50,000 minus payment is only one amount, that is 1,600. So 1,50,000 minus 1,600, you get 1,48,400. Okay, now what do? We do a comparison and we decide which formula you are supposed to use. Your available balance is 1,48,400. Actual amount is 45,000. So you have more amount with you. 1,48,400 is more than 45,000. So I use first formula. Now you're clear which formula you have to use. These many days we were not using first formula because we usually have this amount very less. That is why we go for second formula. But in this problem, if you observe, the available balance is more than the actual amount. So I take first formula. Okay. If in case, if it is less than 45,000, here if it was less than 45,000, I would have taken second formula. But since my available balance is more than the actual amount, I go for first formula. So what is the first formula? If you remember, first formula will be remuneration is equal to cash available into percentage of remuneration. Correct? Sorry, amount available into amount paid to unsecured creditors. Okay, amount paid to unsecured creditors into percentage of remuneration. This is the actual formula. So how much is the amount paid to unsecured creditors? 45,000. 45,000 into percentage of remuneration is 2%. So 45,000, 2% will give you 900. So 900 is the remuneration. I hope this is clear. This is same thing what we have done so far. The only difference here is I have done first formula because available balance is more. Okay, since it is more, I am using first formula. First formula says it is amount paid to unsecured creditors into percentage of remuneration. So 45,000 into 2% is 900. So liquidators remuneration is done. At 3% I have got 4,500. At 2% I have calculated it to be 900. Okay. Then as per the format comes your debenture holders. But since we don't have debenture holders, I am writing preferential creditors. Preferential creditors is 5,000. Okay. Then I am writing unsecured creditors. Okay, so now onwards when you write, please check whether you have available balance or not. Because after unsecured creditors, whatever you write, you will have chances of writing balancing figure. So we have 1,50,000 on the receipt side minus 1,600 minus 4,500, 900 and 5,000. You have 1,38,000. So unsecured creditors, I will write 40,000. Okay, because I have more amount. If you see here, I have 1,38,000. I cannot write balancing figure. Remember, after unsecured creditors, I should write shareholders also. Okay, so unsecured creditors given in the problem is 45,000. In that 5,000 is preferential creditors, so 40,000 is unsecured creditors. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now, after unsecured creditors, I write my preference shareholders. Okay. When you are writing your preference shareholders, remember you have to write capital as well as you have to write your dividend. Okay. Now, you had 1,38,000. So, in that 1,38,000, now I have written 40,000. So, minus 40,000. You have only 98,000. Okay. But how much is the preference shareholder capital? Preference shareholder capital that you are supposed to give is 1,008% into 100. So 1,000 into 100 is 1 lakh rupees. But available balance is only 98,000. You don't have enough of balance to give for the preference shareholders. So how do you do? The same working note that we have done. That is total deficiency. Okay, the same working note we are supposed to do. I hope the problem is clear to all. Before writing 1 lakh, check whether you have 1 lakh in the problem or not. How do you check? Take the receipts minus all the payment. If it is more than 1 lakh, then you can write 1 lakh. If it is less than 1 lakh, then you have to do the deficiency calculation. So if you remember, how did we do the deficiency calculation here? So the second working note, calculation of total deficiency. To which shareholders? Here it is both preference as well as for equity. Okay, because I have not paid preference, so that is why I am taking the deficiency for preference as well as for equity shareholders. So how do you calculate your preference shareholders? First you write how much is the actual amount to be paid. To be paid to whom? Actual amount to be paid to preference shareholders. How do you do this actual amount to be paid to preference shareholders? Remember, you have to pay them capital. So 1,000 into 100, it is 1 lakh. Okay. So 1 lakh is a capital that you are supposed to pay. done. On 1 lakh, remember you have to give the dividend at 8%. So 1 lakh into 8% dividend is 8,000. Okay, this 8,000 is the dividend that you have to give. So how much is the actual amount you have to pay? Actual amount you have to pay is 1 lakh and 8,000. Clear? Same problem. With this, what do you compare? You compare what is the available balance in the problem. How do you calculate available balance in the problem? Receipts minus payment. That is 1,50,000, which is on the receipt side. You have to minus 1,600, 4,500, 900, then 5,000, then 40,000. Okay, so minus all this value here, that will give you how much is the available balance in the problem. So available balance in the problem is only 98,000. So how much is the deficiency here for preference shareholders? Preference shareholders, the deficiency is 10,000. Okay. I hope it is clear to all. How do you calculate? Same problem. Look into your problem number 5 and then compare with this. It is exactly the same problem that I have done. Actual amount to be paid to preference shareholder is 1,08,000. How did you get? Capital and dividend both I have taken. Minus available balance in the problem. That is receipts minus payment, you get 98,000. So how much is the deficiency? How much is the shortage for you? The shortage amount is 10,000. Now we calculate how much is the total deficiency for both the shareholders. So how do you calculate the total deficiency for both the shareholders? First one, deficiency to preference shareholders, that we have just calculated, which is 10,000. Okay, deficiency to preference shareholders. Then I write how much is the deficiency to 3 classes of equity shareholders we have. So first I will write deficiency to 10,000 equity shares at the rate of 10 each. So 10,000 into 10 will give you 1 lakh. Okay. Then you have deficiency to 20,000 equity shares at rupees 8. So 20,000 into 8 is 1,60,000. Okay. Then you have deficiency to 30,000 equity shares. 30,000 equity shares, they have paid only 5. So 30,000 into 5 is 1,50,000. Okay. Now take the total. 10,000 plus 1 lakh, 1,60,000, 1,50,000. So 4,20,000 is my total deficiency. Total deficiency for how many shares? 10, 20, 30. So 30 plus 20 is 50, 50 plus 10 is 60. So total deficiency for 60,000 shares, it is 4,20,000. Therefore, deficiency for 1 share is equal to 4,20,000 divided by 60,000. So deficiency per share is rupees 7. I hope it is clear. Same problem of your 5th we are continuing in the 7th problem. Okay. So after this, what do? You find out how much should each class of the shareholders contribute. So we start from calculating for class 1. Class 1, you have to write how much is the deficiency per share. Okay. Deficiency per share is 7 minus how much is already paid. How much did your class 1 have paid? They have already paid 10 rupees. Okay, they have fully paid. So how much is 7 minus 10? 7 minus 10, it is 3. Now you have to decide whether should you refund this 3 rupees or should you collect this 3 rupees. Okay, whether you should receive 3 rupees or whether you should pay 3 rupees. Okay, logically think the deficiency is only 7, means I want only 7 rupees. But class 1 have already paid 10 rupees, means they have paid 3 rupees extra. Since they have paid 3 rupees extra, this 3 rupees should be repaid to equity shareholders. Okay, I hope it is clear to all. 3 rupees should be repaid to the equity shareholders. Why? Because they have paid extra amount. I need only 7 rupees, but they have paid more than 7 rupees. So that more than 7 rupees whatever they have paid, that should be repaid to the equity shareholders. For which shareholders? For class 1. So how many shares is class 1? Class 1 they have 10,000. So 10,000 into rupees 3. So I have to repay 30,000 rupees. Okay. Repay means it has to come under the payment side because I am repaying them. Okay. Now we'll see what happens in class 2. Class 2 again same thing. Deficiency per share is 7. Check how much they have paid. So they have already paid 8 rupees. Okay. So 7 minus 8 is 1. Correct? My deficiency is only 7 rupees, but they have paid more than 7 rupees. How much is that more than 7? They have paid 1 rupee. Since they have paid 1 rupee extra, this 1 rupee should be repaid to the equity shareholders. Okay, I need only 7 rupees, but they have paid 8 rupees, means 1 rupee they have paid extra. So this 1 rupee should be repaid to the equity shareholders. Therefore, how many equity shares are there? Second class 20,000. So 20,000 into rupees 1 is equal to rupees 20,000. Where will you write? You are repaying them, so it has to be written under the payment side. This is also rupees. Fine. We'll see what happens for the class 3. Okay, class 3 again deficiency per share is 7. Minus, see how much they have already paid. Class 3 they have already paid 5 rupees. So 7 minus 5 is 3. Okay, I will not put this in bracket. Why? Because my deficiency is 7 rupees, but they have paid only 5 rupees. Means they have to pay extra 3 more rupees. Sorry, 2 rupees. Okay, 7 minus 5 is 2. So deficiency per share is 7, but they have paid only 5 rupees. 2 rupees is extra amount that they should pay us. Okay, if you see in these cases what happens? 10 is greater than 7, so I am repaying. 8 is greater than 7, so I am repaying. But 5 is lesser than 7. I cannot repay. I have to collect from them. So this 2 rupees to be collected from the equity shareholders. Okay, I hope this is clear to all. 10 rupees is greater than 7 rupees, so I am returning them the extra amount. 8 rupees is greater than 7 rupees, so I am returning the extra amount. But 5 rupees is not greater than 7. 5 rupees is less than 7, so this 2 rupees must be collected from the equity shareholders. So how many equity shares you have for third class? Third class you have 30,000. So 30,000 equity shares at the rate of 2 rupees, you get rupees 60,000. Where will you write the 60,000? The 60,000 should come under your receipt side because I am collecting from them. Cash is coming in, so this should come under the receipt side. Okay, I hope this is clear to all. Okay, please make a comparison. How much is the deficiency? How much have they paid? If they paid extra, give them back. When you're giving them back, you have to put it under the payment side. If they have given lesser amount, then collect that lesser amount. Since you're collecting the money, that should come under the receipt side. Okay, so this is a full-fledged problem of how you have to write your equity shareholders when they have given extra, when they have given shortage. Okay, so now we have done the calculation. So come back to your format. So if you see here, now I have enough of money because I have collected from the equity shareholders. So I will write by preference share capital, I can write 1 lakh. Preference dividend, I can write 8,000. Okay, because they have contributed now. Finally, I write my equity shareholders. Okay, remember you have 2 classes on the payment side and 1 class on the receipt side. So by equity shareholders, class 1 they are paying 30,000. Okay, then class 2 I have to pay. Okay, not they are paying, I have to pay 30,000, and for class 2 I have to pay 20,000. On the receipt side, which class will come? 2 calls made. or calls recovered. Which class? Class number 3. How much should you collect from them? They are contributing 60,000. So now if you observe on both the side, your problem should tally with 2,10,000. Okay, so this is a complete problem. Why I am telling you complete is because we are doing calculation on liquidators remuneration as well as we are doing calculation for deficiency. Okay, so please refer your problem number 5 and then refer to problem number 7. Only then you will be able to understand. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask me, you can text me, or you can call me. I will reply you either through voice message or through chat. Okay, you just have to observe this class 1, class 2, class 3 equity shareholders, see for whom you have to pay and from whom you have to collect. So go through the problem, understand, and then do it in your notes. If you have doubts, please ask me.